Nearly forgot to unmute my microphone again. Do it every time. Hey up, it's that old Yorkshire geek here, back with some more geeky news. We've got quite a lot to get through tonight of various from various franchises, so we'll crack on. As they say, hang on, I've got to just get rid of that. There we go. Make myself small. Into the corner I go. Nobody puts that old Yorkshire geek in a corner except that old Yorkshire geek. Right, well, there we go. Daredevil, this is breaking news. Well, it is for me anyway. 'Cause I got a hot tip. Cheers, Marie. Anyway, Daredevil Season 4 happening. Bit of Ron Burgundy there, got a question mark. Happening? MCU reboot reportedly in the works. Marvel Studios is reportedly developing a Daredevil reboot show which will see Charlie Cox return as Matt Murdock after Spider-Man No Way Home. And there he is as Daredevil and as Matt Murdock. Daredevil, the man with no fear. Marvel Studios is reportedly developing a Daredevil reboot series produced by Kevin Feige. Ever since Netflix cancelled Daredevil in 2018, audiences have wanted to see more of Charlie Cox's Marvel character. These hopes finally came to fruition in 2021 when he returned as Matt Murdock for a cameo in Spider-Man No Way Home. The appearance is expected to be the beginning of a new chapter of Daredevil's live-action stories, which is rumoured to include roles in She-Hulk and Echo. Still, there has been optimism that a Daredevil project properly set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe will happen. When it comes to conversations about Daredevil's MCU future, many want to see that include Daredevil Season 4. Disney's recent move to bring the first 3 seasons of Daredevil and the rest of the former Marvel Netflix shows to Disney Plus opened the door for the series to potentially continue. The chances of Charlie Cox returning to lead another Daredevil project seemed even more likely after it was recently discovered that Disney set up a Blind Faith Productions LLC. This was followed by news that an MCU project starring the Devil of Hell's Kitchen could begin filming before the end of the year. Ooh! Now, Production Weekly has revealed that Marvel Studios is indeed working on a Daredevil-centric project. It is being referred to as a Daredevil reboot series produced by Kevin Feige and Chris Gray, which should release on Disney+. This could indicate that Disney and Marvel Studios are working quickly to get the series off the ground. The production listing doesn't include any cast members, but Charlie Cox will be back to star as Matt Murdock in any Daredevil MCU projects. Why a reboot? Why not just a continuation? If they've gone to all the trouble of putting the Daredevil and all the other, Defenders series on Disney Plus, just continue them instead of doing a reboot. God, that's stupid. Details on Marvel's plans for the Daredevil reboot are unsurprisingly few at the moment. The classification of it being a reboot, though, indicates Netflix's show is not considered part of the MCU canon by Marvel Studios. That's why I put it on Disney Plus. And this isn't a Daredevil Season 4 continuation. Same could be said, though, for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., wouldn't it? That started out as part of canon because they included clips, didn't they, from the MCU movies, and it was, directly tied in. And then as the show went on, it got further and further away from the MCU, didn't it? Maybe that's what they're doing here. However, that doesn't mean that other actors from the prior 3 seasons of Daredevil won't return alongside Charlie Cox. Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin is already primed for a return after Hawkeye. Meanwhile, Karen Page, Deborah Ann Wall, Foggy Nelson, Eldon Henson, Elektra, Elodie Young, and others could come back as MCU variants of the previous continuity. Although some fans will be disappointed if Marvel's new Daredevil show won't directly connect to what came before, clarification on that subject might not come until much later. The good news for now is that Charlie Cox's Daredevil appears to be a big part of Kevin Feige's plans for the MCU. leading a solo Daredevil Disney Plus show, proves just how bright Matt Murdock's future is in the shared universe. If Marvel does plan to move forward with the show quickly, then it might not be too long before more news on the Daredevil reboot surfaces soon. Oh, pardon me. Didn't tell long, did it? Got to end that first article and I had a burp. So there we go. Of course, I'm on Diet Coke. Other fizzy drinks are available. There we go, Daredevil, reboot. God, they're dead stupid. They don't care, do they? They don't care what's happened. Why can't it just be a continuation? Why does it have to be a reboot? Why can't they just say that, this stuff happened in this series, but we're not going to reference it, but it still happened, because it doesn't have to reference it, does it? Or maybe they might want to reference it further down the line. Why just cut your nose off to spite your face? That's the saying, isn't it? Something like that. Anyway, they'll only do what they want. But I don't think there'll be an Iron Fist reboot, do you? It'd be nice to see Jessica Jones and Luke Cage back, though. And I didn't hate Iron Fist, but it was just, it wasn't as good as the others. And Punisher, maybe he'll pop up again as well. But that might be a bit too violent for Disney Plus. Although I've not watched them yet, I've heard they're uncut. All these series are uncut on Disney Plus, which is surprising. Anyway, sticking with Screen Rant. By the way, speaking of Screen Rant, all the links are in the description down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It says it up there in red and white. Like and subscribe and share the videos and use the notification bell and drop a comment in the comments. And if you won't hear this, but join the live chat. But there's nobody here again, because nobody ever watches my show. Not live anyway, or very rarely. Occasionally I see it like comes on, it'll say one viewer and they'll pop in and then pop out again. It's because of my droning monotone. Right, we'll carry on, shall we? Right, Obi-Wan Kenobi reportedly shows Star Wars location mentioned in New Hope. It has been confirmed that the location of Anchorhead on Tatooine will finally be revealed in the upcoming Disney Plus series. Disney Plus series Obi-Wan Kenobi. And there he is, looking a bit fed up. He's on some sort of transport, looks like it, doesn't it? Don't know who that is. Sure I used to work with him. It has been reported that the location of Anchorhead will finally be revealed in the upcoming, let's do it again, Disney Plus series Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi is the latest, arguably the most highly anticipated Disney Plus series, spelt it right that time, to take place in the Star Wars universe, with Ewan McGregor once again taking on the role of Obi-Wan. Technically he's Ben now, isn't he? I haven't gone by the name of Obi-Wan since before you were born. And he's born, isn't he? So he's Ben. I bet he ain't. The series follows the Jedi Master as he watches over young Luke Skywalker and evades capture by the Empire after the events of Revenge of the Sith. Oh, good thing. That's with Hayden getting me up early this morning. Sod. Anyway, the series will also star Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader, and is set to begin streaming on May the 25th. Be with you. It has recently been revealed on the Star Wars News Net that Obi-Wan Kenobi will depict the Tatooine location Anchorhead. Anchorhead was first mentioned by Luke Skywalker back in A New Hope in 1977. No, it was Star Wars in 1977. Just thought I'd correct you there. Though has not been seen on screen to date, excluding Toshi Station in the Book of Boba Fett, which is technically in the outskirts of Anchorhead. So it's still Anchorhead, isn't it? According to the Star Wars SSNN Star Snores Newsnet article, they're not doing right well with the spelling, are they? Today. A glimpse of Anchorhead can be caught in the recent teaser trailer for the series, in which Kenobi is on a transport ship with the city in the background. It has since been confirmed that the city is indeed Anchorhead. I didn't know Anchorhead was a city. I thought it was like a collection of buildings. Mos Eisley is a city, isn't it? But I thought Anchorhead was just like a like a village or a small town, or whatever. But then again, Americans, sorry if any Americans watching, but Americans call anything a city, don't they? You get the keys to the city, and it's just like a street. In the UK, a city has got to have, I think it's something like 100,000 population, and it's got to have a cathedral, and I don't know, and all this stuff, I don't know. We have different kinds of cities, and I'm sure in space they've got even more kinds of cities. They've got cities in the clouds. And there's Obi-Wan on his Eope, and just one shadow. Should be two shadows technically. Should be another one going that way or that way, because there's two suns. Unless, by some weird coincidence, the suns just happen to be, in line with each other. But I doubt that. Didn't think of that, did you, when you were making it? No. It is unclear in what capacity Anchorhead will feature in the new series. It is known that at some point in the story, Kenobi will leave Tatooine, and it has been speculated that he may gain passage off-world from Anchorhead. Well, no, he'd have to go to Mos Eisley. That's the spaceport, isn't it? That's why it's called, it's called Mos Eisley Spaceport. Anchorhead's just, a place. Anyway, however, this cannot be confirmed. Still, many Star Wars fans will be excited. He probably gets a transport from Anchorhead to Mos Eisley, because that's what Luke said in Star Wars in 1977. I can take you as far as Anchorhead. From there, you can get a transport to Mos Eisley or wherever it is you want to go. However, this cannot be confirmed. Still, many Star Wars fans will be excited to learn that in just over 2 months they will finally get to see a classic location that's taken 45 years to come to the screen. Only time will tell what secrets Anchorhead holds in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, well, alright, fair enough. I imagine it'll look just like all the other places in Disney Star Wars, Few buildings, all be dusty. I bet it looks a lot like Cobb Vanth's village. I forgot what it's called. It's called Freetown now, isn't it? But what was it called before? Mos Pelgo. Something like that, isn't it? Something like that. I bet it looks just like that. Bet it does. Right, carry on. I think we're still on Star Wars. Yes, we are. Star Wars Andor TV series reported to release in August. It's easy to overlook the Rogue One spin-off series with the impending Obi-Wan Kenobi series in the spotlight right now, but The Mandalorian's enduring success, but Star Wars Andor isn't that far away. Whenever I say Andor, I keep thinking of Andorians off Star Trek. Keep expecting to see Commander Shran. That'd be good. But it ain't. But Star Wars Andor isn't that far away. Andor, the forthcoming Star Wars series, is expected to premiere in August on Disney+. Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna, will star in the series, and I think he's producing it as well. Actors have always got to be producers, haven't they, these days? They'll get enough money. With Forrest Whitaker and Ben Mendelsohn reprising their roles from the sci-fi. From the movie. From Rogue One, I mean. And there he is. Ms. Marvel will be released in June, which is a surprise given that most of Disney Plus's programmes have avoided crossovers. That was particularly true for Star Wars and Marvel, but because this series will soon follow Obi-Wan Kenobi, it has opened up a whole new area for the next... What? You keep missing things off. For the next something. Star Wars Andor release schedule. With such a full calendar for 2022, there's been a lot of speculation about Lucasfilm's plans for the series debut. Disney revealed... Oh, sorry, bogey. Disney revealed that Andor... I blew my nose as well. I can feel something tickling my nose. If I pull a big bogey out, I'll show you. I'll hold it right up to the camera. Dear. Disney revealed that Andor will be released during the Q4 of the year, which includes the summer months. I don't know how to work that out. I always thought that Q4 was like from February to April. That's all. But was that just in tax terms? I don't know. Anyway, Star Wars Andor might air on Disney Plus in August 2022, according to Bespin Bulletin. The first season of the project will consist of 12 episodes, with the budget and production more equivalent to feature films in terms of the number of practical sets constructed. And is he going to... No, right, so we'll read the tweet. This is the tweet from Bespin Bulletin. Ms. Marvel kicks off on June 8th. Andor will be the next tentpole Disney Plus series after Ms. Marvel. I always heard August, and I won't be surprised if it's still there, even though Ms. Marvel is coming slightly earlier than Disney previously mentioned. Right, the series was initially planned to launch in September, but with the announcement of Ms. Marvel's earlier than anticipated release, Andor 2 stands the chances of being released sooner than intended. This report would coincide with the commencement of Season 2 production, since it would follow in the footsteps of The Mandalorian, which is now filming Season 2. Well, Season 1 is airing. Andor will be free to finish production on its own schedule without competing with other shows because it does not use the same volume technology as The Mandalorian. Oh, good. Might get a different feel then, which might set Disney Plus on track to release the following seasons of Andor every August. More about Star Wars Andor. Andor is a prequel to Rogue One. Well, he dies in Rogue One, doesn't he? Spoilers. And it follows Diego Luna's character Cassian Andor, a rebellion soldier. Andor's plot is unknown, apart from the idea that it takes place 5 years before the events of Rogue One. After the production for Andor packed up in September 2021, Luna said, "You'll definitely see familiar faces. I can tell you about this project like no other because I can't spoil the ending if you've seen Rogue One already. No matter what I say, I can't ruin the ending. To be honest, it's been such a blessing to do this job, and to do it under these circumstances. I had the chance to work with a team that I couldn't be more proud of and admire more. It's a hardcore moment to be out there shooting, and we were really lucky. We're done with the shooting now and getting it ready for audiences to see." See, the trouble is with it, though, we know whatever scrapes he gets in, we know he's going to be fine, don't we, because he's in Rogue One. Anyway, if August turns out to be correct, the picture for the rest of 2022 is considerably clear. Following Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Bad Batch Season 2 is expected to premiere in the summer to bridge the gap between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Andor. As we approach the summer months, updates will undoubtedly continue to pile up, and it's amazing to know that this series is officially on the horizon despite repeated delays. Source, The Direct. I should have gone straight there, shouldn't I? Then they wouldn't have missed words. Right, there you go. Right, we're on Star Trek next, I do believe. Anyway, like I say, I'm looking forward to Andor because I really liked Rogue One. I think it's the best of the Disney Star Warses, and I think it's right up there with all the other Star Warses, to be honest. People say, I didn't like the first half of it. I think it was really good. Apart from Bor Gullet, that silly thing that sucks brains and reads minds or whatever. That were rubbish. But the rest of it were really, really good. And it was exciting. There were loads of action in it, weren't there? So what more do you want in Star Wars? And it was actually a war film. So there you go. So anybody who says it wasn't very good, or just the last part were good, they're talking out of their ass. Yeah. Ooh, I got mad then. Right, oh God, I forgot about this. I forgot about this. Star Trek Discovery Season 5, release date speculation and latest news, and there she is, Space Jesus. Star Trek Discovery has officially been renewed for a 5th season, and it looks like it could be boldly going to a new home in the UK. The slick sci-fi drama has streamed on Netflix for its first 3 seasons, and the assumption was that it would stay there for the 4th instalment. That didn't happen, did it? However, mere days before the premiere, I think actually 2 days before, Paramount abruptly pulled the show's premiere in countries where its newly relaunched streaming service is not available. Did they pull or were they pushed? I don't know. I don't think Netflix gave up much of a fight, did they? Paramount Plus, formerly known as CBS All Access, is planning to expand into new regions, including the UK, later this year. I won't be subscribing. There's too many bloody streaming services now. So the studio was keen to regain exclusivity of arguably its biggest franchise. Thankfully, Pluto TV, that all of its half a dozen viewers probably, because anybody I tell about Pluto TV, they've never heard of it. and I never watch it. I've got it on my PlayStation 4, and I never watch it. I put it on, so I could watch Discovery, which I didn't. I think I watched episode 1 of season 4, and I started watching episode 2 of season 4. I got 5 minutes in, she started crying, so I thought, sod this, turned it off. And I've not watched it since. Always crying. Starfleet. Anyway, where were we? Thankfully, Pluto TV stepped in to air the show for UK Trekkies. I didn't step in. Pluto TV is owned by CBS. But it looks like the next run of episodes may find its home on Paramount Plus whenever it rolls around. And either way, they can at least take some comfort in the knowledge that their fan favourite show's future is secure, and that we should be on the same release schedule by the time season 5 rolls around. Fan favourite show. When it aired on Paramount Plus, it was number 10. In the top 10, it was number 10 on their top 10 shows. So that's not very good, is it? Supposedly the figurehead show, is that the right word? The top show, one of the most expensive shows ever made. It was number 10. That's how good it is. And that's how much of a fan favourite it is. And that's why at the bottom, when they aired season 1 on CBS, not normal CBS, free to air CBS, it was at the bottom of the ratings. Underneath repeats of game shows and stuff like that. That's how much of a fan favourite Star Trek Discovery is. And I've got a Star Trek Discovery t-shirt over there because I liked season 1, because I didn't know it'd get worse. And it were a bit different, and I thought, well, we might get used to it, but we didn't, because it got crap. Star Trek Discovery was officially renewed for season 5 in January 2022, with the series continuing to be one of the top performers, not on the streaming service Paramount Plus. I've just said that it was number 10. In the top 10, it was number 10. So I suppose, yeah, it's in the top 10, right. It's supposed to be, the main show. It was below SpongeBob SquarePants. That's... No release date was given with the announcement, but we could make an educated guess on the time frame based on the pattern that the show has followed thus far. With the exception of Season 3, which took longer to produce due to the pandemic, holding up post-production, new episodes have appeared approximately 11 months on from the preceding finale. That means we're likely to see Star Trek Discovery in early 2023, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Oh, we haven't done yet. Who's in Star Trek Discovery Season 5 cast? Well, it'll be the same ones, won't it? Well, Paramount hasn't disclosed an official cast list for Season 5 just yet. The principal members are all expected to return, led by Sonequa Martin Green in the lead role of Discovery's Captain Burnham. It's likely she'll be reunited with actor and contortionist Doug Jones in the prosthetic heavy role of Saru, the first Kelpian to join the ranks of Starfleet. Other actors in the Star Trek Discovery, not that they were given much choice, were they? They were basically not kidnapped, but persuaded to leave his own world because he managed to activate that communications device, didn't he? I can't remember the cult planet where he's from. Canamar, not Canamar. That was an episode of Enterprise, wasn't it? Whatever. I don't care. Other actors in the Star Trek Discovery supporting cast include Anthony Rapp as Paul Stamets, Mary Wiseman as Sylvia Tilly, Wilson Cruz as Hugh Culber, and Tig Notaro as Jet Reno, and them. David Ayala and Blue DeBarrio, them, are more recent additions as Book and Adira, respectively, joining the cast in Season 3 and became firmly established in the 4th outing. Other big-name talent, including the Mummy star Oded Fair and legendary director David Cronenberg, have also joined the cast in recent years in recurring roles. Expect some new faces to appear when Discovery returns too, with casting announcements likely to be made over the coming weeks and months. Watch this space for updates. This hasn't been written by Radio Times, has it? or if it, if it has, it's a press release. Is this, isn't it? They're being sent a press release, and they've said spice it up a bit, make it look like we've written it. But it's a press release. The fourth season of Star Trek Discovery focused on the emergence of a mysterious new life form later known as Species 10C, as well as a reckless plan by the villainous Ruon Tarka that puts the entire universe at risk. The story moving forward will depend largely on the outcome of the season finale, particularly the lasting consequences of Discovery's crew's actions and which members make it out of the finale alive. I think the finale this week or next week, I don't know. It's possible that the writers could take inspiration from events happening in the real world when plotting the upcoming episodes, with this latest storyline partially influenced by the COVID-19 pandemic. Showrunner Michelle Paradise told TV Line, "We're taking the spirit of what we were and are feeling as a global family, and then looking through the eyes of our characters and seeing how they would respond to something that is bigger than themselves. In this case, it's a scientific anomaly. We don't know at the start of the season what it is, where it came from, what is its nature. Our heroes are going to have to figure that one out. Is there a Star Trek Discovery Season 5 trailer? Not just yet, and with production still in the early stages, we wouldn't expect footage anytime soon." They're done, whatever. Don't care. I won't even watch the finale, I don't think. I don't know, we'll see. I might do just to see what happens. But I don't know when it is. I don't know if it's this week or next week. I don't want to watch the wrong one by mistake. Anyway, right, what's next? Oh, it's still on Star Trek. Is my bad straight? It is. Can you read that? Yeah. How a new Picard adventure proves Star Trek books are canon. I said they're not, either. They're canon until the TV people decide they're not canon. Anyway, we'll see what it says. A new Star Trek audio adventure fills in the gaps between the first season and Star Trek Picard Season 2. And yes, it counts. You mean like the books that came out before Star Trek Discovery started? Or Star Trek Discovery Season 2 started? There were a couple of Star Trek Discovery books that came out. Read one of them. They were all right. And it had the Enterprise and Captain Pike in it. And it was set during... It actually didn't have Discovery, the USS Discovery in it. It was set on the Shenzhou with Captain Georgiou. And it had all the other cast there as well. Not cast, characters there. Burnham and Saru. It had all them there. And they all met Captain Pike. And but we got the impression that in Star Trek Discovery Season 2 they'd never met Captain Pike before. So there you go. So and they were supposed to be canon, and so they're canon until they decide they're not. It might mention it in this, but I doubt it. Star Trek's relationship with tie-in media, specifically books and comics, is one of the largest and most expansive in the history of science fiction. Before the explosion of the Star Wars expanded universe of novels in 1991, Star Trek had been putting out at least 4 novels every year since 1980. This output hasn't really changed much since the 80s, though the official canonicity of Trek novels remains intentionally vague. There's a long tradition of the writers of books and comics making every effort to make what tie-in media match with what you see on screen. But hardcore fans want to know what counts and what doesn't. Does what happens in the comic books, novels, and now audio drama adventures really count? Co-writers of the new audio drama Star Trek Picard No Man's Land, Kirsten Beyer and Mike Johnson, want fans to know one thing: they think it all counts. Yeah, until it's decided not to count. What you up to, princess? Oh, you're back over there, curling up. Can you see her? She's over there again. Look, she's there. Look, cheeky. A producer on Star Trek Discovery, a co-creator of Star Trek Picard, and now a writer for Star Trek Strange New World Season 2, Beyer's Trek career began as a writer of Star Trek Voyager novels. Her first book in that series, String Theory Fusion, was published in October 2005, a full 4 years after Voyager ended on TV, 5 months after Enterprise aired its final episode, 4 years before... Oh, man, me. That's because I know what's coming up. before the 2009 Star Trek reboot film, and 12 years before Discovery would relaunch Star Trek on TV. So when you look at it from Bayer's point of view, half of her Trek writing career existed in the liminal space of so-called real canon. We have set a standard for ourselves of telling the best stories that we can in whatever medium we're working in across the board, Bayer says, and that never changes. Bayer's co-author on Picard No Man's Land, Mike Johnson, doubles down on this assertion, saying, "When I was doing the Kelvin comics for IDW, that was the only Kelvin universe stuff out there in between the movies. Anyone working on a project thinks of it as canon, otherwise you're doing a disservice to yourself and the fans." Tell that to Disney. He also points out that in numerous time materials since 2009 there has been a close working relationship between the writers of the films and the TV shows. Are they going to mention it? I think it's coming up down here. And those producing the comics and novels. I'm not saying that any writer who doesn't have direct communications is somehow lesser, but I had Bob Horsey as a sounding board for the Kelvin comics, and now I have a similar benefit, given Kirsten's involvement with the show. They should have had Bob Horsey on Discovery instead of bloody Kurtzman. But Kurtzman's more of a, it's more sneaky and he'll get in and weed. I think Horsey's more honest. But Kurtzman's a snake. He is. He's got this innocent look about him, but he's a snake. Like Bayer, Johnson has been writing Star Trek material for a very long time, starting with the popular IDW comic book series Countdown, which created a kind of TNG-era prequel for the events of the 2009 film, which I've got over there. Obviously, not all of the material from that comic has remained canon in the post-Picard era, but at that time the intent was there to give the fans something that was specifically made for them. This philosophy extends to many of Johnson and Bayer's other collaborations, including the Discovery prequel comic The Light of Kahless, the Mirror Universe's sequel Discovery Succession, and the popular series Picard Countdown. I can't remember what the Discovery novels were called that came out between seasons 1 and 2. Can't remember. I've read one of them. Anyway, never mind. Which not only shows Raffi and Jean-Luc during their Starfleet heyday, I've read that Picard Countdown, but also elaborates on the origin story of Laris and Jaban, including exactly how and why they came to work for Jean-Luc in the first place. It was a bit meh with Picard Countdown, to be honest. The point is, when it comes to extracurricular Star Trek action, Bayer and Johnson know their stuff. This leads to what is perhaps their most ambitious project to date, No Man's Land, a full-cast audio drama featuring the machinations of Seven of Nine, Jerry Ryan and Raffi Michelle Hurd in between the events of Star Trek Picard Seasons 1 and 2. While the story was being developed alongside the writing of Season 2, Bayer reveals that Ryan and Hurd recorded it just after they had finished filming the second season. So if fans feel a synergy between what they see of Seven and Raffi in Picard Season 2 and what they hear in No Man's Land, that's the goal. We had the benefit of really knowing where Season 2 was going and were able to make little adjustments as we went along in terms of tone, Bayer explains. We were really able to fine-tune it as Season 2 was happening. To be clear, No Man's Land is not an audio book adapted from prose. This is an audio drama with a full cast, including Star Trek Lower Decks' Fred Tatasciore in an entirely different role. I don't know who he plays in Lower Decks because I hate Lower Decks. And a plot that feels like a Star Trek film or a big multi-part episode arc. Without spoiling it, the story spoil away, mate. The story concerns Seven, Raffi and a crew of Fenris Rangers in pursuit of a missing professor and a mysterious artifact that is also on the want list for a Romulan warlord. For the most part, the action is removed from the Federation, well, because it generally seems to be modern Star Trek and Starfleet, and allows us to experience the unique differences between what is going on in Fenris Ranger territory and the rest of the galaxy. It's the core purpose of writing an ancillary project like this, Johnson explains. You don't want to rewrite anything that's come before, but you don't want to step on the toes of anything that's ahead. So we carved out a location and a cast that wouldn't conflict with Season 2 of Picard, but would also contribute to Seven and Raffi's story in Picard. Johnson also says that if fans feel like Seven and Raffi are on a kind of Indiana Jones-esque adventure, then they've certainly caught the flavour. It's going on a long time, this article. I'll plod on. I even wanted to call our missing Professor Ravenwood at some point, Johnson admits. He also adds that some aspects of No Man's Land were influenced by the standalone Star Wars novels of the 70s and 80s, specifically Brian Daley's Han Solo at Star's End, in the same way that those novels isolated Han Solo in a different section of space, away from the action of the films. No Man's Land keeps Seven and Raffi in the area of space near where the Romulan Empire used to exist, before the supernova from the 2009 Trek film blew everything up. It blew everything up. God, I hate J.J. Abrams. I hate him. How can a supernova blow everything up? It blew up Romulus, and presumably, Remus as well. But it's an empire. It's a star empire. Didn't they have other, secondary seats of government somewhere? You thought so, wouldn't you? But no, they didn't think of that, did they? God, it gets me so angry. Anyway, I was really interested in is always continuing, whatever. Is always continuing to go deeper into the sort of geopolitical landscape of what the universe is going to feel like post-Romulan supernova. It was a star called Hobus. Want a Romulan. Bayer says, that's so important to the series as a whole. The notion that people would have tried to save the cultural artifacts of what came before. There are so many ways a supernova changed the lives of so many people. And the more you can find that kind of thing, the more you can make it the whole thing. The more you can make it the whole thing richer for everybody. Oh, you can make the whole thing richer for everybody. Christ, these are writers. For fans who are curious as to what happened in the year-and-a-half gap between Picard Seasons 1 and 2, the audio drama No Man's Land certainly helps to answer some of your questions, particularly when it comes to Seven and Raffi's breakup. But Kirsten Bayer makes it very clear that this isn't the entire story of Seven and Raffi pre-Season 2. This is one thing that happened to them, Kirsten Bayer says with a laugh. And it's not the only thing that happened to Seven and Raffi. Clearly, the Raffi 7 adventure is just beginning. And there's a poster. Oh, wait. H. Star Trek Picard No Man's Land is written by Kirsten Bayer and Mike Johnson with a full cast starring Michelle Hurd, Jerry Ryan. Michelle Hurd, by the way, I just found out recently, is married to brain name. One of my favourite actors, and I can't remember his name. I can see him. It's got a D in it. It'll pop in my head in a bit. Jerry Ryan, Jack Cutmore Scott, John Cassia, Fred Tatasciore, Chris Andrew Tueller, Lisa Flanagan, Gibson Fraser, Lamique Isaac, Natalie Nordus, Jay Sands, and Emily Wu Zeller. It's available on Simon & Schuster Audio. If you have Audible, you can snag it with your monthly credit. I ain't got Audible. And there we go. Oh, God, what's his name? It's been in that Walking Dead spin-off, Fear the Walking Dead. He's a really good actor. He can play goodies and baddies, and he's good. Garrett Dillahunt. She's married to Garrett Dillahunt. And I like him. He's a really good actor. Anyway, so there you go. But, like I said, the canon until the powers that be decide they're not canon, like them Star Trek Discovery novels that had a meet in Picard and Spock and everybody else. There were no mention in there either that Spock and Burnham, were related. Were they? Might have been. I can't remember. Anyway, whatever. Boring. Next, Halo. Halo shows early reviews praise an entertaining but generic sci-fi series. Reviews for Paramount Plus's Halo show are coming in ahead of its premiere on March 24th, and they are praising an entertaining but generic sci-fi series. Obviously, I've not seen it. The only Halo game I've played is the first one. And I played that on my PC, and because I'm crap at games, even back then, when I was younger, a bit, I put cheats in, so I put God mode in, so I could just get to end. Because, that's the way I roll, so shite to you. But it's no challenge, don't care. Early reviews for the Halo shows are coming in, and they are praising an entertaining but generic sci-fi science fiction series. Originally a video game created by Bungie for Xbox, the massive media franchise managed by 343 Industries now spans multiple best-selling novels, comic books, and other mediums. Next instalment is the highly anticipated live-action Halo series, coming to Paramount Plus this month, which has already been renewed for a second season ahead of its series premiere. Ooh, that was horrible. Yeah, I bet you saw that on screen. The whole coming out of my mouth. The plot of the upcoming Halo series is centred around the 26th century war between the United Nations Space Command and the formidable alien race known as the Covenant. Pablo Schreiber stars as the iconic super soldier who goes by many names, including Master Chief, John 117 and Spartan 117. Jen Taylor reprises her role from the video game series as the voice of his trusty AI sidekick, Cortana. Halo also stars Natasha McKellen as Dr. Halsey, Yerin Ha as Quan Ha-Bu, Charlie Murphy as Makee, Shabana Azmi as Admiral Parangoski, Bokeem Woodbine as Soren 066, Olive Gray as Miranda Keyes, and Danny Sapani as Captain Jacob Keyes. I presume they're related, I don't know. Now, critics have begun sharing their thoughts on the Halo series ahead of its premiere on Paramount Plus. At the time of writing, the show is fluctuating in the high 50s to low 60% range on Rotten Tomatoes, which is right on the line between rotten and fresh by the aggregator standards. Therefore, critics are finding plenty of reasons to enjoy the sci-fi series, while also voicing some concerns. Check out a few of their reactions below, along with those of our own Rob Keyes. Is he related to him? 50s to low 60s isn't very good, really. I'd say that's like below average for a review score. John Campia liked it though. So Rob Key says, watch the first episode of Halo the series. It's different than the games, but pulls a lot from the lore and pays respect to the details, vehicles, creatures, locations, weapons, sounds, etc. Totally bought in, and what follows the intro, Pablo Schreiber, is great. Master Chief. Apparently he takes his helmet off a lot. Darren Franish, Entertainment Weekly. This drama comes on strong with ambient technobabble and bureaucratic realism. It's as thrilling as a meeting. So that's not very good, is it? Ben Travers from IndieWire. It's exactly what you expect. While Halo features a few minor pivots in these early hours, there's very little to spoil and even less to spark curiosity that's not already present. So if you're not a Halo fan, you'll not be interested in it. That's what he's saying. William Hughes, AV Club. Schreiber is indeed the most interesting thing about Halo, which isn't necessarily saying all that much. Dan Feinberg, that was my awkward. Dan Feinberg, Hollywood Reporter. Boasting no technological innovation to speak of, few performances to offer meaningful grounding, and only limited action thrills, Halo is aggressively forgettable, which is at least several steps up from bad. Carolyn Framke, Variety. The series boasts an impressive budget used wisely, with distinct production design distinguishing one planetary location for another, and spaceships zipping through endless stars. That alone lets Halo keep a pace with its contemporaries. So that's from Variety, which is that mainstream, popular publication. I suppose they've got to be diplomatic, haven't they? Jeremy Mattei/film, the Halo TV series leaves a lot to be desired, but there are signs of better things to come. So there you go, slightly positive. Jesse Shadeen from IGN, as much as the premiere focuses on capturing the iconic weapons and technology from the games, it also shows a willingness to move its story in dramatically different directions. That's another diplomatic review, pardon me. Based on these early reviews, critics appear to be in unison on one thing: Halo is an entertaining sci-fi series on the surface due to its lavish production design, exciting visuals and thrilling action. This much was expected of Paramount Plus's Halo show given its immense $200 million budget for its 10-episode first season. This, Lord of the Rings of Power says, hold my beer. This is all but guaranteed Halo would boast some impressive production value, but based on these critical reactions, the series doesn't seem to achieve anything beyond that and leaves a lot to be desired. It's important to note that critics only screen 2 episodes before publishing their reviews, which is generally enough to get a sense of a show's overall quality, though there is a possibility the show finds its form towards the middle or second half of Season 1. Once most of the world building is out of the way, the series will also likely face some criticism from its devoted video game fanbase for the changes to the Halo timeline. I'm sure it will. In any case, audiences will soon be able to judge the Halo series themselves when it premieres on March 24th, the day before Obi-Wan. There you go. That said, not being a massive fan of Halo, just played the first game and I cheated. I'd probably like it, to be honest. Unless it's absolute garbage, I'm full of, identity politics and all that crap. But we'll see, I suppose. That's me mantra, innit? We'll see. That's all we can do. Just wait and see until we watch it. Obviously, being a tiny little channel with 18 subscribers, I haven't been sent 2 episodes to review. Not that I'd want to. Right, where have you gone? Right, we'll go on to the next one, see if that pops up. Oh, no, I missed that one out. Has this one come back on yet? No. I'll press that. There we go. Mike Myers plays 8 different people in first look at new Netflix sci-fi comedy. Is there a picture? No. The limited Netflix series also stars Ken Jeong and Keegan-Michael Key. Michael Myers is taking a wild ride into the world of conspiracy theories in the Pentaveret, a new sci-fi comedy miniseries for Netflix. The official teaser trailer asks the question, what if a secret society of 5 men have been working to influence world events for the greater good since the Black Plague of 1347? Myers plays Ken Scarborough, a Canadian journalist who finds himself on a mission to answer that very question. Though the secret society of the Pentaveret is made up, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is made up of 5 central members, Myers plays a total of 8 characters. 8 characters? But will he be playing Fat Bastard? Get in my belly. No, it won't. According to Deadline, the full lineup includes a New England conspiracy theorist, a far-right radio host, I wonder who that's based on, an ex-Russian oligarch, a former rock and roll manager. Is that going to be the character he played in Bohemian Rhapsody? A media mogul, and a tech whiz who invents the society's supercomputer. The limited series also stars Ken Jeong, Keegan-Michael Key, Lydia West, Debbie Mazar, Richard McCabe, Jennifer Saunders, and is directed by British filmmaker Tim Kirby, never heard of him, whose credits include Fleabag, never seen it, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, never seen it, Veep, never seen it, and the Johnny Knoxville-led Action Point, never seen it. The series serves as a spin-off of the 1993 cult classic So I Married an Axe Murderer, is it? Having been based on the conspiracy theories from the Weekly World News that beat poet Stuart Mackenzie, Myers discusses with his best friend Tony Giardino, played by Anthony LaPaglia. I say I've only seen that once, So I Married an Axe Murderer, so I can't really remember what happens in it. Saw it once when it first came out, not at the pictures, when it first came out on, VHS, I think it was VHS back then. Anyway, Mazart played Tony's girlfriend Susan in the film, but will play the Pentaverate's highly trusted executive assistant Patty Davis in the series. All 6 episodes of the Pentaverate are set to hit Netflix on May the 5th. Be with you. For more, check out our list. No, don't do that. That looks interesting. That's how I like Mike Myers. I know he's got a reputation for being, a bit of a twat on set. I'm sorry, swearing. I'm in that sort of a mood. They thought they'd put the trailer on, wouldn't you? But never mind. No, it's not there, is it? No, anyway, never mind. But yeah, I'll give that a look. Probably. Of course, as I said, I like Mike Myers. I find him funny. And who doesn't like Wayne's World? And who doesn't like Austin Powers? Probably lots of people. Right. A halcyon celebration and fireworks for the ship's 275th anniversary on the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. I'm not going to read this because it's quite. There's lots of photos. They're celebrating the 275th anniversary of the ship. I hope they've kept it, well maintained for 275 years old. Jesus, couldn't they save up or get a new ship? Anyways, loads of photos, and it's all from the what happens. Look, there's Ray. Don't know what that is. Is that a Wookiee? Is that Chewie? I don't know. Does it say? Oh my, Ray, Chewbacca and SK-620 depart on the Millennium Falcon, which guests can see fly away through the Halcyon windows. That's a window, that. Except it's not, because you're trapped in a windowless void for 2 days. There it goes flying away. I bet it has sound effects. They didn't play music. It's supposed to be immersive, and there's music playing, when stuff happens. That's not even. You don't have music playing when you go shopping, do you? Well, you do. Well, the shop has music playing, but you don't have a theme playing, do you? Oh, maybe you do. I do in my head. There's Captain Karen. You see his look. I'm scrolling down because there's fireworks, and except it's not fireworks, is it? It's on a TV screen, because as I said, you're in a windowless void. Look, fireworks. So you're just watching it and hearing it through speakers. Plus it's in space anyway, so I know it's Star Wars, it doesn't matter. Look, oh, fireworks. You'd thought they had a video, wouldn't you? If I go through it right fast, will it work like an animation? Maybe it's on there. We'll have a quick flick through, eh?
Galaxy.
Oh, there we go. Right. There we go. See. Talk through it because there's music. No, the music. Don't give me a. Don't want to get copyright strike. Anyway, there's fireworks going off. La di da di da 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 da. Very nice. Anyway, yeah. So there you go. There you go. $6,000 for 2 nights. If you want, or if you want a totally kitted out room, or a tricked out, whatever they're called, tricked out room, that'll cost you $20,000. What a load of, and there's plenty of availability. This is not surprising. Not surprising at all. What a load of rubbish. And look, the video in it, look. Well, yeah, because we just watched it, haven't we? Star Wars, it's all Star Wars. Other night were all Star Trek, wasn't it, last night? Now it's all Star Wars. Well, a lot of it. Star Wars' biggest mystery demands a definitive answer. Is Mace Windu truly dead? Windu truly dead? Ever since Revenge of the Sith, I was going to do a joke about, Windows and rebooting Windows and all that. Sorry. Ever since Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars fans have debated whether Master Windu survived, and it's time that Lucasfilm gave them an answer. Well, what did George say? I think George said he were dead, didn't he? But Samuel L. Jackson had other thoughts, didn't he? Anyway, it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. The Book of Boba Fett kicked off the year. And while many fans weren't pleased with how the series handled nostalgia, sorry, I'm getting a bit hoarse. It was still, crikey, I do apologise. It was still a success. Obi-Wan Kenobi is also quickly approaching, and with the new trailer out, fans have been scouring the footage for details about the series. However, all of a sudden, a different Jedi Master unexpectedly hit the news. Yes, it's happening again. Star Wars fans are back to debating whether Master Windu survived his fall out of Palpatine's office. He could have done. It's an argument that has come up time and again since Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005. As usual, it's Master Windu himself, Samuel L. Jackson, who's fueling rumours that the purple lightsaber-wielding Jedi Master could make a comeback. Jackson has a legitimate point, but detractors of the Windu is alive theory also have a valid case. So it's high time that Disney and Lucasfilm gave fans a definitive answer. Why Star Wars fans believe Mace Windu is still alive. Then he's been zapped by Palpatine. Unlimited power! Hey, every Star Wars fan knows that fateful scene. Master Windu walked into Palpatine's office with 3 Jedi Masters in tow. After announcing that the Chancellor was under arrest, Palpatine revealed himself as Darth Sidious. Pardon me. And it was mere seconds before Windu's 3 allies were dead, so he faced the darkness alone and defeated the Sith Lord. He even nearly killed Sidious then and there, but Anakin arrived just in time to save the Sith Lord and sever Windu's hand from his arm. Reeling from Anakin's betrayal, Windu wasn't able to defend himself as Sidious unleashed a deadly blast of Force lightning, sending the Jedi careening into the depths of Coruscant. For all intents and purposes, Windu was dead. He didn't appear in the original trilogy, so it was necessary for him to be gone before the end of Revenge of the Sith. Yet Jackson held out hope for Windu's return. In a 2016 Twitter video, Jackson said, "Jedi can fall from amazing distances, and there's a long history of one-handed Jedi, so why not?" Jackson went on to say that he also shared the theory with George Lucas, who replied, "I'm okay with that. You can be alive." There you go. Since then, I'm okay with that. You can be alive. But I probably didn't put that much emotion into it. Faster with more intensity, George. Since then, Star Wars fans have cooked up all kinds of ideas for a possible Windu return. From a private confrontation with Vader to rescuing Grogu, many fans want Windu to be alive. Even Tamara Morrison, who plays Boba Fett, wants Master Windu to be alive so that he can be the one to kill the Jedi Master. Oh yeah, 'cause he killed his dad, didn't he? Recently, though, Jackson began to fuel the rumours again. Except with George Lucas no longer in charge, he had to look elsewhere for confirmation that Windu is still out there. He told Happy Sad Confused host Josh Horowitz that he asked Bryce Dallas Howard to put him in Season 3 of Mandalorian. That, of course, sent the rumour mill on fire that Windu could appear alongside Luke Skywalker, Grogu and Ahsoka. Why, it's probably best Mace Windu stayed dead. While Master Windu meeting Luke would be exciting, it would open up way too many inconsistencies. For starters, it would be difficult to understand why he wasn't present during the original trilogy. It's a big galaxy. The out-of-universe reason was that his character didn't exist at that point, but the in-universe reason for his absence would have to be pretty substantial. Unlike Ahsoka, who walked away from the Jedi Order, Master Windu was very involved with Anakin, the Clone Wars, and opposing Palpatine. In fact, he even had a bit of a rivalry with Anakin, and losing his hand to the supposed Chosen One would definitely be cause for a major grudge, so it would be much simpler if Windu just stayed dead. That's not much of an argument, though, is it? But theories, logic and hopes aside, the powers that be at Lucasfilm need to take a definitive stand and give fans an answer. Maybe an official ruling will come in a series like Obi-Wan Kenobi or a future Star Wars movie, and maybe it won't. Either way, To keep all the rampant speculation from continuing, it's time for a ruling on Windows status one way or the other. I think they'll bring him back. I do, and I think they'll bring him back, and I think either Boba Fett will kill him, or or Vader will kill him, or the Inquisitors will kill him. I think that's what'll happen. But I think whatever happens, and there'll be one of these prequel. No, it might not be. No. Yeah. I think it'll happen in one of the prequel series. So before A New Hope, like Andor or Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's what I think. So he won't be around in the Mandalorian time. I don't think he'll be around then. But that's just me. I'm just guessing. Right, next up. More Star Wars. Rare Star Wars figure worth over $100,000 up for auction. Right, we'll have a watch of this if it'll play it. Hopefully it won't cause any problems. And I'll move you over a bit. There we go. Let's see what happens. You're going to play. Oh, hang on, no audio.
And you could end up having it on your shelf. That is.
Oh. Is it going to come back on? Hey.
Oh. A rocket-firing Boba Fett action figure from the late 70s is on the auction block right now at Hake's Auctions of York. The rocket-firing feature was later scrapped over safety concerns, and only a handful of authentic prototypes like this one, known to exist, making it the stuff of legend for collectors and Star Wars fans.
The term...
Yeah, very good. Very good. Hang on, I'm doing the wrong thing. Hang on, move you back over there a bit. There we go. Right, we'll have a read. Tend to watching them because they'll probably... Oh, I can't move it back over again because it's bloody writing. Look there. There we go. Try not to, cover up the little tabs over there. Right, York, Pennsylvania. One of the most prized Star Wars collectibles in history is up for auction in Pennsylvania. A rare prototype for a rocket-firing Boba Fett action figure from the late 1970s was on the block Wednesday at Hake's Auctions of York. Ooh, where are you going? The rocket-firing feature was later scrapped over safety concerns, and only a handful of authentic prototypes like it are known to exist, making it the stuff of legend for collectors and Star Wars fans. The term Grail is used a lot. Holy Grail of collecting, but any rocket-firing Boba Fett for any collector, that's their Grail for their collection, said Kelly McLean of Hake's Auctions. Alex Winter, that from Bill and Ted, that Alex Winter. Hake's Auctions president said Boba Fett action figures I doubt it, are currently the most sought after of all Star Wars toys, according to a news release. The 3.75 inch, you should say 3 3/4 inch, if you're doing Imperial, bounty hunter figure that was being auctioned Wednesday is worth an estimated $100,000 to $200,000, he said. Wow, as Owen Wilson might say. Kenner Star Wars Boba Fett version 2 J-slot rocket-firing prototype action figure was made in 1979, according to the release. J-slot refers to the design of the figure's back that accommodates the rocket-firing stem. The only other J-slot prototype we have offered, an AFA 85 plus NM plus example, sold in November 2019 for $185,850. Since then, demand and value have continued to rise steadily, Winter said. A similar and equally sought-after figurine has seen an upward trajectory in recent auctions, selling for between $86,383 and $165,200 in recent years, Winter said. The character Boba Fett appears in both the original and prequel Star Wars trilogies, wearing a helmet and Mandalorian armour. The bounty hunter's formidable appearance and silent demeanour have created an allure that sets the charismatic character apart from all others in the Star Wars franchise, according to the release. The online auction at Hake's closes Wednesday. Is that yesterday? That is, or is it next Wednesday? When is this from? I should have saw this today. Is there a date? Posted March 16th. That's yesterday. Updated March 16th. So yesterday was Wednesday. So is that all, but that... So is it done with now then, or what? I'll have to look into it. Let's have a look at this. Let's see if it says on here. We'll go to their website. Oh, here we go. Bidding has ended for this item. And it's ended out. What did it go for? Does it say what it went for? It went for, there we go, $204,435. That's the winning bid. Wow, includes 18% buyer's premium. There you go. 200 grand. Hey, there we go. Very interesting. $200,000. That's bloody dream money, innit? It's, how much money can you have to just spend it on a toy? I don't get it. I mean, I do get it. Yeah, if I were a billionaire, yeah, I'd spend $200,000 on a toy, but I'm never gonna be. Unless Elon Musk marries me. Right, science. Another search for Planet 9 comes up empty. And there's an artist's illustration of Planet 9. Of course, back when I was a kid, it was Planet X, because we had 9 planets already, but now we aren't anymore. And rightfully so. I'm not one of these that says, Pluto should stay a planet. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because it's got a stupid orbit and does all silly things. A theorised huge 9th planet beyond the orbit of Neptune once again wasn't found in a new survey of the solar system's outer reaches. Astronomers scanned a large portion of the sky using the 6-metre Atacama Cosmology Telescope, ACT, in Chile to search for Planet 9. So we should call it Planet X, shouldn't they? Many machines on X. Bonus points if you know where that's from. The quest came up empty, according to the scientists behind the research, although they acknowledged that the more sensitive searches would make the result more definitive. Their search found many tentative candidate sources, about 3,500 of them, but none could be confirmed, and there were no statistically significant detections, the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, a participating institution in the research, said in a release on March the 11th. That said, in the scanned area of the sky, scientists were able to exclude with 95% confidence a world with the supposed properties of Planet 9. The release added results that are generally consistent with other null searches for Planet 9. It's the latest in a string of fruitless searches since 2016, because there isn't a planet. It's nemesis. It's a dark star that lurks in the outer reaches of our solar system and sometimes comes in, or sometimes perturbs comets and asteroids. And it's got the Anunnaki on it, maybe. It's the latest in a string of fruitless searches since 2016, when a team of astronomers argued that such a large world might explain a strange large gravity source in deep solar space. Astronomers Konstantin Batygin and Mike Brown of the California Institute of Technology found 6 trans-Neptunian objects whose orbits, to the scientists, suggested the presence of a large unseen world far out in the solar system. The team behind the new research acknowledged how tough the search would be to find such a planet. In theory, Planet 9 appears to be 5 to 10 times the size of Earth and roughly 400 to 800 Earth-Sun distances away from the Sun. The Earth and Sun are on average 93 million miles or 150 kilometres apart. And there's a diagram of where Planet 9 should be, because it had affected all these orbits, I suppose, of these trans-Neptunian objects, and there's Sedna, which is at the moment is the furthest object discovered in the solar system. Anyway, a small planet so far away would be tough to spot in optical searches because the world would see very little sunlight at such great orbital distances. Even searching for infrared or heat signatures is tough, as infrared surveys such as the Wide Field Infrared Explorer WISE were unable to find Planet 9 in past attempts, the team noted. Excuse me. The newly used Atacama Cosmology Telescope usually looks for the signature of the Big Bang, also known as cosmic microwave background radiation, but repurposing the telescope for Planet 9 had value as its relatively high angular resolution and sensitivity make it suitable for this type of research, the team stated. The astronomers looked at 87% of the sky accessible from the southern hemisphere over 6 years and then processed the images to search for faint sources. Although the results so far have come up empty, the team acknowledged in the statement that more advanced surveys may yield more information. The researchers are particularly excited to see the results of a project based in Chile called the Simons Observatory that will also spend most of its time spending the cosmic microwave background. You mean scanning? Whatever. A study based on the research was published in December 2021 in the Astrophysical Journal. There we go. So there. They haven't found Planet 9 yet. Planet X. Many machines on it. X. Better than those on that other place. Right, mysterious voids discovered in Great Pyramid of Giza could lead to Pharaoh's chamber. Probably not. Go away. They hope to fill a major void in Egyptological scholarship. An ultra-powerful scan of Egypt's Great Pyramid of Giza could help identify two mysterious spaces that potentially house the legendary tomb of the pharaoh. The watershed study was published last month in Arxiv by University of Cornell archaeologists. Where are you going? We plan to field a telescope system that has upwards of 100 times the sensitivity of the equipment that has recently been used at the Great Pyramid, wrote the researchers of the proposed scan, which is titled The Exploring the Great Pyramid Mission. Tell the scientists and not writers, can't you? They used advanced cosmic ray technology to map the internal structure of the Great Pyramid, which is Egypt's largest pyramid and the last surviving wonder from antiquity. The team's research is based on a study by Scan Pyramid Group, which conducted a series of scans between 2015 and 2017 that analysed muons, cosmic particles that regularly fall on Earth, to detect any voids. Life Science reported. Muons react differently to air and stone and are therefore ideal for mapping air pockets in stone structures such as pyramids. And there they are. That's that's the Great Pyramid in the background there. That's Khafre's pyramid, and that's Menkaure's pyramid in the front. That's actually the smallest. That looks the biggest, but it's actually on a bit of a hill, so it's a little bit looks tall. But that's the Great Pyramid there in the background. And there's some camels. And they've been there, and they might have been on them very camels. But there you go. Oh, there's another picture. There's the Great Pyramid. Not chunky, aren't they? Look. Khafre's pyramid, Menkaure's pyramid. And these are the so-called Queen's pyramids. There's some there, and there's some... You can't see them. There's some up here as well, about there. Anyway, the scientists found two spaces, the larger of which measures 98 feet long and 20 feet high, and sits above the Grand Gallery, which is a part inside the Great Pyramid, which leads to the so-called King's Chamber. Meanwhile, the smaller void is located near the citadel's north face, and while neither void's function is clear, scientists speculate that the large one could lead to the secret burial chamber of the pharaoh Khufu, reign about 2551 BC to 2528 BC, for whom the Great Pyramid was originally constructed in the 26th century BC, if you believe that sort of stuff. But it probably was. In order to peer inside the void, researchers plan to scan the area with supercharged cosmic ray muons, which are 100 times more powerful than the ones used in the prior scan. Oh, they've got a picture coming up. Utilising them will allow researchers to image muons from nearly all angles and will, for the first time, produce a true tomographic image, three-dimensional internal images created by analysing waves of energy of such a large structure per the study. And there's a picture. There's a Grand Gallery. That's the entrance that were blown up with dynamite by, I think it was Howard Weiss. And then they found this. They went down there, and then they found the Grand Gallery, and that led to the King's Chamber there, and that's the so-called Queen's Chamber there. And up there, that's called the Relieving Chambers, up above the King's Chamber, and that's up in there. That's where they found graffiti that mentioned Khufu's name up there in the Relieving Chambers. Some people believe it, some people don't. I think it. It was built, on the orders of Khufu. Whether it's supposed to be his tomb or not, I don't know. Since the detectors that are proposed are very large, they cannot be placed inside the pyramid. Therefore, our approach is to put them outside and move them along the base, the team wrote. In this way, we could collect muons from all angles in order to build up the required data set. They added that the use of very large muon telescopes placed outside the Great Pyramid can produce much higher resolution images due to the large number of detected muons. In fact, the detectors are so sensitive that they may be able to pick up pottery and other artifacts housed within this pyramid scheme. Per the study. They like that phrase, don't they? Here's hoping none of the voids houses booby traps a la Brendan Fraser's 1999 film The Mummy. And there's a little statuette, which is about that big, of Khufu. And that's the only image of Khufu that we've ever found. Ivory statuette of Khufu. While the scans have been green-lighted by the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, the team still requires funding to build the equipment and deploy it inside the Great Pyramid. It will then take between 2 and 3 years of viewing to amass enough data to begin the study itself. In a similar landmark pyramid study from 2017, archaeologists found that the ancient Egyptians constructed the Great Pyramid at Giza by transporting 170,000 tons of limestone in boats. Oh, that's it. CEA's Muon telescope set up in front of Khufu's pyramid north face. There you go. Yeah, I'm lucky that I went to pyramids once. I think it was 2004. I think I went. I can't remember. But yeah, it's an amazing place. Unfortunately, I didn't get to stay there very long. We actually went to Luxor, and there was a trip to Cairo, and we went to see the pyramids, and the tour guide gave us 15 minutes at the pyramids, and then we had to get back to the bus. Unbelievable. But I've been, and I went on a camel. They weren't happy about that, but shite to them. Right. Lastly, NASA reveals its James Webb but anyway, yeah, let's talk about this. These voids. Could it be? There's the diagram. There we go. That's where the void should be. So it could be, because actually it looks it's same angle, isn't it? It's the Grand Gallery. So there's another Grand Gallery leading to another chamber up there. It could be, It could be, but it don't, obviously it's a big pyramid, so it could be, is it above that, or is it, to one side of it? I don't know. But will they find a body in there? I doubt it very much. I doubt it very, very much. Because the pyramids, it's why they stopped using pyramids. They went to, the pyramid age lasted about 100 years in the early Egyptian history. But the pyramids, they kept getting robbed. And because they were so, prominent, weren't they? Everybody knew they were there. And even though they had guards and stuff, guards can be bought off. And they kept getting robbed. And, the contents kept getting stolen. So that they moved to Valley of the Kings up near Luxor. And, had underground tombs there in the Valley of the Kings and other places. But even then, they still got robbed. Because these grave tomb robbers are, industrious chaps. Anyway, there we go. There we go. And aliens didn't build it. Right. NASA reveals its James Webb Space Telescope's first fully focused image of a single star in capitals. And it's so good, astronomers can't wait to get more accurate images of stars, planets, and galaxies. Make you a bit bigger. Move you over there. Come over there. There you go. Right, NASA's James Webb Telescope has taken its first in-focus image of a single star, and it's so good it could allow the observatory to exceed its science goals. This would allow for much more accurate images of stars, planets and galaxies once the telescope begins its science operations in the coming months. Webb was launched from the European spaceport in French Guiana on Christmas Day last year, arriving at its final orbit between Earth and the Sun on January 24th. It has now completed a series of critical mirror alignment steps known as the fine phasing and revealed an in-focus image of star 2 mass J1755404 plus 6551277. Do you get that? I hope you've written it down. NASA says the image is so good that the optical performance from Webb will be able to meet or exceed the science goals of the observatory. The observatory was built to achieve. More than 20 years ago, the Webb team set out to build the most powerful telescope that anyone has ever put in space and came up with an audacious optical design to meet demanding science goals, said Thomas Zurbuchen, NASA Associate Administrator. Today, we can say that design is going to deliver. This and the 2 mosaic images revealed previously are engineering images, with the first pretty picture set to be released early this summer. And there's the image. That's the star. And there you can see galaxies in the background. Look, galaxies. There you go. The tennis court-sized $10 billion observatory is now fully focused after each of the 18 mirror segments were aligned to within a fraction of the width of a human hair. It might say, I don't know if it says it here, but the reason that's orange is because of the wavelength of light the picture's been taken. It's not natural, not a natural light image. The work of the focusing team isn't done though. This is just the latest major milestone in the unfolding preparation, focusing and cooling of the telescope. This stage involved checking every optical parameter as well as having them tested, finding it is performing at or above expectations. The team also found no critical issues and no measurable contamination or blockages to Webb's optical path. The observatory is able to successfully gather light from distant objects and deliver it to its instruments without issue. Although there are months to go before Webb ultimately delivers its new view of the cosmos, achieving this milestone means the team is confident that Webb's first-of-its-kind optical system is working as well as possible. Senior advisor for science and exploration at the European Space Agency and Webb scientist Mark McCaughrean said Webb was now sending the sharpest possible images to its instruments. That means we can go deep and see lots of detail and deliver the amazing science that was dreamed of decades ago. And there's the alignment selfie that it took. I'm sure it means something to somebody, with letters after their name. In the background of the stunning bright star image are galaxies and clusters of galaxies that hint at what Webb will show us once fully online. Hannah Wakeford, exoplanet scientist from the University of Bristol, said on Twitter, "Look at some of the galaxy clusters in the background. This telescope is going to amaze us at every step, and with a point of light we can measure the atmospheres of otherwise invisible planets. This is in part possible due to its unique optical system and design that required it to be folded for launch and gradually unfolded over a month. While some of the Earth's largest ground-based telescopes on Earth use segmented primary mirrors, Webb is the first telescope in space to use such a design. The 21-foot 4-inch primary mirror is made up of 18 hexagonal beryllium mirror segments. Once it reached its orbit, each mirror was adjusted to within nanometers in order to form a single large mirror surface to gather even the faintest light. Being able to detect faint infrared light will allow astronomers to use Webb to peer deeper into the early universe or detect faint atmospheres on distant worlds. That image up there was technically infrared light, that's why it's red. In addition to enabling the incredible science that Webb will achieve, the teams that designed, built, tested, launched and now operate this observatory have pioneered a new way to build space telescopes, said Lee Feinberg, Webb Optical Telescope Element Manager at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. And there's an early alignment image. God, going on a long time, is this? Oh, we're not reading all this. Yeah, anyway, so it's taking a photo. It's taking a photo. It's first, pretty photo. There it is. First pretty photo it's taken. And very nice it is too. Let me see it a bit closer. There we go. Go away, you writing. Anyway, as you can see, all these galaxies here, look, in the background. And that's obviously it's not a very bright star because it hasn't got a proper name, has it? So there you go. So there you go. Very interesting. Right, we'll leave it there. I've had enough for today. You can only read so much science, can't you? I love space and stuff, but this article will go in on a bit, won't it? Now, we're not going to learn out new. Not going to learn out new. Not yet. Not till the summer. There we go. Yeah. Just blah, 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 blah. Right, so we'll leave it there. I'll get rid of that. Bing. Go away. Have you? That's it. Right, I'll make myself bigger. And I'll say goodbye to you. I think Princess is still... Yeah, she's still there, this Princess. Curled up asleep. Right, so we'll leave it there. So I hope you enjoyed those stories. Those news items. So, until tomorrow, fingers crossed, as I usually say. Wherever you are in the world, be nice to each other, help each other out. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And it's over there, isn't it? And share the videos. And what else? Use the notification bell. And drop a comment in the comments. Obviously, this is live, but it'll still be on the channel. For you to watch whenever you want to. If you want to. So... until tomorrow, I'll see thee.